Hi, I'm Chandler Klebs here, and this is just a video I'm recording to update my friends on kind of what's going on with me and in life and the podcast and stuff I do. And I may get a phone call while I'm trying to record this video. I don't know, but who knows? When you call people, you don't know if they'll call you back. So I'm just going to go on and do this anyway. So I'm sure some of my friends are wondering, I don't know why they don't hear from me very much these days. Particularly Jamie. He's like, "Where are you, dude?" If I don't get on Facebook or if I'm not talking to him on Skype, he likes to talk on Skype. And the truth is, I'm busy. So let me just explain a few things. Now, I spend about 24 hours weekly working at Hy-Vee. I work 4 days a week, 6-hour shifts. And I know that that doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is because it's very physical. Sacking groceries is complex mentally. It's hard to make sure I put everything the right way it goes. That's complicated because everyone wants it a certain way. I find that difficult. But aside from that, there's the heavy lifting of people's huge cases of water and their beer, and and then of course getting carts, which I'm best at. I'm best at getting carts. Like pushing all those carts. I pushed 4 or 5 big carts or like 6 small carts, and I'm doing probably, I don't know, man. I do bring in at least 100 carts every day, I'm sure, because I'll be out there. Sometimes I'll be out there for an hour, and it's been cooler lately, so it's not so tough. And of course, Hy-Vee is under construction, and we're allowed to wear our Hy-Vee construction T-shirts until the construction's done, it'll be another year probably still before they finish expanding everything at the Lisa East Hy-Vee. So yeah, I'm busy with Hy-Vee, and that right there is 24 hours out of my week. And even though that's not as many hours as a lot of people are working, I'm still part-time. It's a physical job. Now here's the deal. It stresses me out a little bit, but there are some benefits to all this hard work. I'll tell you. Okay, in fact, rather than just telling you, I am going to show you. Okay, now I'm going to show you. I'm getting pretty strong here. Seriously. Now, I have some serious arm muscles. I'm talking really serious arm muscles from all the heavy lifting I do. I heavy lift, all the beer and the water, and I push those carts. And seriously, I'm getting very muscular. So that's the main point. And my arms aren't even the start. I mean, these legs, I have some really strong muscles in my legs. And I've always had strong legs because look, I walk everywhere I go. I don't have a car, never planned to have a car. And I walk and stand and lift all day at my job, 4 days a week. I'm getting really strong, people. And I like that fact. I like that I'm looking pretty muscular. I'm feeling strong. And as you know, I'm vegan. And something I wanted to mention was I've had this idea. It's just been kind of a wild idea that I think about every so often. I kind of wish that I could be like a fitness bodybuilder type of person. And the reason for this is because, I'm vegan. As much as possible, I eat only plants. When I'm buying the food that I eat, I buy produce, I buy juice, and I eat lots of peanut butter. Seriously, like I have a lot of peanut butter sandwiches, and my mom makes these awesome burritos. It's cheap to make a lot of burritos. Like we'll get some tortillas, some refried beans, some enchilada sauce, and she mixes it all up, and she'll make like 60 burritos. Like we'll get 60 tortillas, and then she'll make them. And then you know what I do? Like before work, typically I eat 5 burritos. So that's 5 tortillas with some refried beans, some enchilada sauce, and I even put ketchup on top of it. So I eat 5 burritos, and that gets me through the day. Another thing that gets me through the day is when I'm able to afford it. Like today, I just got paid, and I bought another can of the vegan proteins powder. And it's good. It's got pea protein, alfalfa, all these vegetables. It's like a lot of protein, so that gets me going in the morning. So between eating burritos or peanut butter sandwiches because they're cheap food, and when I'm able to afford my protein powder, that helps me get strong. Because here's the thing to understand is that basically I get up early in the morning. Like be working a lot of days. I'll be working 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so what I do is I wake up at 4 a.m. Now, this seems crazy. Like, I want to explain a few things. Now, I wake up 6 hours before I know I'm scheduled for work. And why is that? Because I am not a morning person, people. Never have been a morning person. I hate mornings, and it takes a lot for me to get going in the morning. So there's a few reasons. First of all, I got to have my caffeine. And I will use any means, just about any means, to wake up. Okay, so I will drink pop. I will drink coffee. I will get my caffeine one way or another. I will eat. I'll do what I have to do in the morning. And I often have to use the bathroom a lot, too. That's an important thing to understand. Now, I won't go into the gross details about that. But let me point out a few things. Now, aside from the fact that I have to get myself all physically ready, get myself awake, feeling strong, make sure I've used the bathroom enough, and I try to stop eating and drinking a few hours before I start work because I don't want to have to go to the bathroom all the time. But I still have to tell my managers I need a bathroom break once in a while because it's hard to go 3 hours even. I'm going 6 hours, when I get a break, usually around the mid part of my shift. But it's hard for me to go 3 hours without having to pee. It really is, especially when it's hot and I'm sweating and I'm drinking lots of water. So that's part of it. The other reason I get up early, and here's something important, is I have a lot of other things I do. So let me get into the other things that I do when I am, aside from working at Hy-Vee. Now, as some of you know, I record podcasts with my co-hosts. And anyway, I can put my shirt back on now. I don't need to. I'm just showing you that I'm getting pretty strong. I'm looking pretty fit, and so I think I'm looking pretty good. At least by even by American standards, I'm looking pretty good. I'm pretty healthy. And the last checkup I had, I have no bad cholesterol. I'm not overweight. In fact, I'm a little bit underweight, perhaps. I mean, there have been times when I'll be down to 140 pounds. But let me get into the podcast that I've been doing. Because as some of you know, I record podcasts with my co-hosts. And, okay, there's the Free Will, Science, and Religion podcast. And we talk about how free will is an illusion and the applications in our daily lives, as well as religion and politics. And it's interesting. When the guys talk politics, I stay out of it. Before I've spoken up about politics and they all want to fight with me, I disagree with everyone when it comes to politics, just about. Because I think politics is stupid, honestly. But anyway, enough about that. Basically, aside from the Free Will, Science, and Religion podcast, I do the Impersonal Opinion podcast, which is kind of more of an anything goes podcast, where people talk about whatever is on their mind. And I like that because that's more of the media where we get into deep discussions about religion and certain philosophies. George and our recent guest, Pafo, talk pantheism. They're all like, God is the universe or whatever. They're like that. I'm like, okay, I just let them do that, And I had a few of those impersonal opinions, like Trick Slattery and I, we talked about like antinatalism and also the topic of abortion. And we'll never agree on those things precisely. It's kind of complicated. But in any case, the point of the Impersonal Opinion podcast is for everyone to be able to share their honest opinions. And also, don't take your opinions personally, and here's why. They weren't up to you anyway. You don't have a free will. It's not like you choose your opinions, or otherwise, wouldn't we just all choose to have the same opinion so there'd be nothing to argue about anymore? Makes sense to me. But third, and I think this is actually one of the most important things, is Monique Lukens and I, we started the Celibate Vegan Compadres podcast. And for a while we were thinking up a name for it. Right now our title is Celibate Vegan Compadres, and I like that title. And we talk about veganism, we talk about celibacy and the reasons why someone would want to be celibate. It's not because we're religious. Monique is kind of religious, I'm not. But it's not because of a religious thing so much as it is a prevention of suffering thing. You know, that's an important thing that I think of, because I'm really not for procreation. I'm like antinatalist to the extent that I don't want to procreate, because that's causing harm. Like, I'm deeply committed to ahimsa, and that's a very important thing. I think that anyone who embraces the vegan lifestyle, where you don't want to hurt animals, you know, should be celibate. I mean, honestly, because anything else is complete hypocrisy. Because what if somebody does all their life, makes all these lifestyle changes to make sure that they minimize their harming to animals and the environment in general, but then they reproduce and the kids that they've procreated undo all of their work because they become some psychopathic animal killer, some carnivorous thing. You know what I mean? So I think procreation is wrong, and that's a very unpopular opinion, for sure. It's very unpopular. People have a hard time accepting that basic fact. But that's kind of what the Celibate Vegan Compadres thing is about. Monique and I, we're different, but we have a lot in common. We don't want to hurt animals. We also, neither one of us ever want to have sex. Like, seriously. It's kind of interesting because asexuals tend to have this worldview more, because if you lack the sexual attraction in the first place, then you tend to, it's not a big part of your life, but then you're just frustrated because you see the harm that happens by society being oversexed and all this stuff that happens. And it really goes deep. I mean, it really goes deep into your worldview. This will affect your religious and political views to the extent of what your view of sexuality is. So that's an important thing to understand. So that's just it. Is I do 3 podcasts. I do the Free Will Science Religion, Impersonal Opinion, and Celibate Vegan Compadres. And all the speaking I've been doing has been in audio form. It's been an audio podcast that I upload to the Internet Archive. You can also subscribe to them through iTunes, and you'll find them on my YouTube channel, which is probably where you're seeing this video too. It's very important because, yeah, there's so much that needs to be said, but you know, these things are important. And I haven't done much writing recently. Like, I really haven't done any writing, with the exception of perhaps commenting on something somebody said on Facebook or on somebody's blog. But I haven't written on my blog recently. I still have my blog, chandlerklebs.wordpress.com. You know, and that's an important thing because there's tons of stuff. There's probably 100 or 200 blog posts on my blog from years ago even. Some of it I may not even agree with anymore, but I've written a lot. And on that note, see, I haven't mentioned this much before, but now there's 5 books I've published, and a lot of the content that is in my books has been published on my blog already. So, oh, hey, I'm getting a phone call. I have to end this video. Unknown name. I'm not going to answer that, because if it says unknown name... Oh, okay, I'll answer it. Hello?
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 Yeah, hi sir, this is Michael. I'm calling you from Windows Service Center, And this call is about your computer, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Sir, we are continuously receiving lots of errors and warning messages from your computer. That's why we have given this call to you.
I don't think there's anything wrong with my computer.
Sir, I will show, sir. When you go online, check your email or download something at that point of time. Some online hidden infections are getting into your computer, sir. And these infections are corrupting the internal software part of your computer day by day. That's why we have called you up, sir, to save and protect your computer.
Well, I'll check my email, but I don't have time for this call right now. I'm actually waiting for another call.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You know, every once in a while that happens. There's some weirdo trying to tell me there's some problem with my computer. And I'll tell you, the only problem with my computer is that Windows 10 keeps wanting to update whether I want it to update or not. I will be shutting down my computer or rebooting my computer before podcast, and it gets annoying. But see, that's just an example. See, this phone call, which was not even the person that I was waiting for, some other weirdo trying to call me. Another example of how our life is not in our control. You know, yeah, that's all part of the free will illusion too, you know, in a sense. Because what we do is depend on what other people do or not. But anyway, let me get back to the topic I was mentioning. Now, I mentioned that I wrote a lot and I published 5 books. They're on Amazon. They're on Amazon Kindle. They're on CreateSpace. However, I have been making payments recently with a publishing company, the same publishing company that published my mom's book. As you may know, my mom is an author. She's published 2 books. One is titled From Horror to Hope. The other is From Rejection to Love. So my mom's written 2 books, and they look very well done. And so what my book will be that will be published with them will be a compilation of all 5 of the books that I have previously published, but they will all be in one book. And so from the last PDF that I remember that they sent me, a preview of it, it'll be like 300 pages, somewhere around 300 pages. So what that means is that once I have books like that, I can give them to my friends or people can buy them so they can read all that I've written, all 5 of my books in one book if they have the time. And speaking of time, I mean, who has the time for everything, right? There's billions of books. There's billions of videos to watch. There's so many things each of us wants to do, and the main point of this video is that I've been busy. It's either busy at work or doing chores around the house for my mom, or editing the audio of podcasts and writing descriptions and publishing them and checking my email, and I'm always behind on my email, like seriously. And a lot of what goes to my email is every time Jamie Soden tags me in something on Facebook, it goes to my email. And he sends me some good videos. Like he'll send me some good YouTube videos, and he'll say some important stuff on Facebook too. He has some good thoughts, and so that's cool and all, but I don't reply to all of it. And I honestly don't read all it, and I don't watch all those videos because I don't have the time, you know. But that's just it, is that a person only gets so much time. Everyone's got to work a job these days to survive. And then I have all this activism I do. I consider the podcasts one of the most important things in my life. To me, the stuff I've said and that my co-hosts have said, and I'm the one who records the audio and edits things out that people don't want in there. By doing this, I am providing a service for people to be heard in a way that they may not be heard otherwise. Because all they got to do is talk. I'm the one who takes care of the technical side of things. You know, I record the Skype calls, I edit the audio, and I make sure things are published so people can listen to them. And I hope that people are getting benefit out of the podcasts, because a lot of my time goes into that. And it's not so much about even what I say, even though I express my opinions in these podcasts. I have, I don't know, like 20 friends. I've got to have like 20 friends that I do podcasts with if you think about all the people who are on there, you know? And they all have good stuff to say. And what I like about the internet and podcasts and YouTube and all this stuff is that people who couldn't be heard before can now be heard. And so I think it's great that there's all these free podcasts that you can listen to from all sources. But I and my co-host do a lot of work just by talking about important issues. Explaining why we don't have a free will, why it matters. We talk about ethics. We talk philosophy, science, religion. We talk about all this cool stuff, and it's a big part of my life. It really is. So I feel fulfilled in life. I feel pretty happy. Sometimes I get depressed feeling like I'm not making a difference. But then when I record podcasts or I'm listening to ones we've done in the past, it makes me remember that I haven't wasted my life. I've produced a lot of stuff and let others produce stuff that will continue long after we're all dead. That's important. And similarly, the point of publishing my books is, I've gone through quite a journey in my life. I've thought of a lot of different things. I wrote so much of what I think about the world. And a lot of people write books. A lot of people record videos, podcasts, and everyone wants to be heard because we all learn something in our life, don't we? We go through experiences, we learn stuff. And what I think is sad, what I think is really tragic, is that the majority of humans, or any other animal, they go through their whole life, but after they die, it's all gone, because it's not passed on. Unless they published a book or they have recorded video or an audio of what they've said, nobody even knows that person lived. And so, now here's the deal. When I'm dead, it's not going to matter to me, okay? It's not going to matter to me because I won't be here. But I like the idea now that in the future, others will benefit from what I've said or what my co-hosts have said, through the podcast or whatever it may be. And so it's very important, as I feel like I'm doing pretty well in life. So I'm happy, I feel like, I actually have a lot of friends. For such an antisocial, Asperger, autistic person that I am, I'm pretty active talking with other people. It's interesting. But it's only about stuff that matters. I don't want to talk politics with people. I don't want to talk sports. I don't want to talk about the weather. I only want to talk about stuff that really matters. And the veganism is at the key of that. I know I'm one with all the other animals, That's the thing is I've gone through such a journey, in my life where my eyes have been open to so many things, and I really hope that we see a time when the whole world is vegan, where animals are not viewed as property. Like humans no longer view these other animals as their property, that they can kill, that they eat, that they experiment on, that they wear. Realize that they are others. To not do to them what you wouldn't do to your best friend. It's a very tricky thing. And I get very emotional about it. And I may not look emotional by human standards because I don't express emotion the same way other people do. But there's some things I'm passionate about. There's some things I feel very strongly about. And some things are just so key, so central that they are not worth debating. They may be because if it changes people's minds. But I don't have private arguments with people. That's what I'm saying is I don't want to have private arguments with people. I don't want to just be arguing with people about stuff where nobody's going to change. If we do have disagreements, I prefer it to be recorded in podcasts because then other people learn by hearing both sides of an issue. So that's important is I don't discuss these things outside of recordings. Not really, because otherwise I'm wasting my breath. If it's not going to be recorded or it's not going to be written in a book, it's a waste of time. And so that's just it is I think that's where people need to go. I think of the big discussions, do not need to be had in public. They do not need to be had around your family members in just private settings, but make it public. If you have something worth saying, say it to the public so that everyone can benefit from it. Now, admittedly, there are some things that are private. There are some things that are just between family, between friends, and I get that. But I want to keep that to a minimum because I live in the age of the internet. I'm really lucky to be in the age of the internet where people can express their thoughts on topics. And that is what is advancing humanity, even though humanity is still disgusting in general. Most humans are psychopaths. Most of them hurt animals. They kill each other in wars. They abort the babies. People are disgusting. Most people are disgusting. But there's a few good ones here and there. And I feel like I've found some really good people. The podcasts I do, some of those people are just they're really smart, they're really ethical, and I like them. They're my friends, and so that's just it. So this video has been mostly directed at my friends who just wonder what's going on with me, and anyone else who cares to listen. Anyone else who follows my YouTube channel and really, really cares at all about what I have to say. But I have a lot to say. And while I don't do it very often anymore, once in a while it's important for me to record a video because I can easily talk for half an hour about all kinds of things. So yeah, that's just an example of what goes on. And so today is my day off. I'm not working at Hy-Vee and I'm pretty exhausted. So I'm just going to catch up on some things, catch up on my email, and I don't know, try to relax because I got work tomorrow. I've got a busy life all the time. So I hope someone has enjoyed this video, but I don't know. Anyway, I feel better after saying all that. I had a lot of important stuff to say. So next time someone asks me, oh, how are you? Or how is life, Chandler? It's like, well, I recorded a video, so I don't have to repeat myself. I don't want to have to repeat myself to every strange person who asks how I am or what I've been doing in life. Not that I have to answer them anyway, but hey, sure. I have no problem talking about things, but people who know me are always asking me how I am when I'm at work. And I'm like, I'm here to sack your groceries, not talk. Do you want paper or plastic? Oh man, it's funny. All I know how to say like these days is paper or plastic or thank you and you're welcome. That's pretty much the conversation that goes on at Hy-Vee. Because I just have to know how they want their stuff sacked. But yeah, it's exhausting. So anyway, busy with my job, busy with podcasts, busy helping my mom with whatever she needs. And when I'm not doing all that stuff, you know what I love to do? I love to play video games. I love to play Minecraft. Minecraft is cool. It really is. I'm building all sorts of cool things, I'm more of a creative person, just like I used to do a lot of geometric art. I've done a lot of that over the years. I still have a DeviantArt account. I still have a lot of art that I used to do years ago. Sadly, I've mostly abandoned it because I couldn't make money off of it. It's still good stuff, but I've been too busy lately. But in anything that I can do where I'm building something, I like that. So once in a while, I still do art in Inkscape. And once in a while, I still like to play Minecraft or Terraria. Any game where I get to build stuff and just be funky. So anyway, this has been Chandler Klebs, and I've just been ranting about what's been going on in my life. And so it's been pretty much that, with the exception of a brief phone call of someone trying to tell me there's something wrong with my computer. So yeah, this is completely insane stuff. But yeah, that's what life does, okay? Life is crazy. It wasn't my idea. None of us choose anything. Not our existence or anything that happens after that. Well, thank you for listening. Hope you've enjoyed. Goodbye.